So my amazing assistant, Sinette, is so good at just being present, being on it, and helping out that she actually talked a friend of ours into coming here, a friend of hers, actually. And you guys are going to recognize him. And I'm just going to bring him up on stage after I read this quick little bio. So after Chris Drama Path graduated from high school in Akron, Ohio, he moved on to Los Angeles with dreams of working in a skateboard shop and renting his own apartment. Through his second cousin, a professional skateboarder, Rob Diedrich, he became the character on 2 MTV reality shows, and in 2009, at age 22, with no background in business or fashion, he launched the t-shirt and streetwear line Young and Restless, which has grown into a nationwide brand with distribution in more than 3,000 Macy's, Dillard's, and PacSun stores. Celebrity endorsements from Puff Daddy, Justin Bieber, and 43 employees, $31 million in revenue last year. Let me introduce you to Chris Path.
Hey, guys.
All right, so how did it all start?
It all started when I realized I didn't want to live in Ohio anymore. I realized there was no opportunity there. There was nothing for me. And so shortly after I graduated high school, I just sort of packed up and moved to LA. And I ended up getting really lucky because my cousin lived out here, and right at that time he was trying to get a reality show, and it was kind of this crazy idea. We didn't know what a reality show was, or MTV, what was going on, and they picked it up. And I remember all kind of sitting there thinking, there's no way this is going to work. People are going to kind of laugh us off TV, and we're not meant to be on TV. And sure enough, the show was called Rob & Big, and it became a really big hit, and it catapulted all of us into sort of these trajectories of success and just this whole other life that we never really thought that we were ready for.
So I normally would say, like, what was your big break? Obviously, that was it, right?
That was it. That was it, and that wasn't it. Because here's what I'll say: is reality TV is a gift and a curse. It's a big break because you get a lot of attention and you get a lot of sort of cheap fame, is what I'll say. But you don't get paid a lot, and a lot of times you see reality stars getting kind of high on that fame, and they don't actually monetize it or turn it into a career. So we knew pretty quickly that it was a gift and a curse, and we had to figure out right away how to make careers, build businesses, and make money off of this quick bit of attention.
All right, so how did you do it?
Well, my way was starting with a clothing line. I started a clothing line called Young and Reckless. I realized that my demographic that was watching our shows were shopping at malls at the time, and were wearing T-shirts and hoodies and those sort of clothes, and it was easy for me to market to them. So I created a brand that I thought stood for youth sort of empowerment and wanting to motivate kids to not only start their own businesses, but go out and have adventures and do crazy things with their friends and just enjoy life. And so that was my way of doing it. I've now since done, I've started a podcast and I've started doing all other sorts of content, but the real bread and butter for me was the apparel business.
So just out of curiosity, there's a long time soap opera, Young and Restless.
Yes, there is.
Did you have a problem with your name and them challenging you and saying you can't use this name? And I mean, I understand you're not a TV show, you're a clothing line. And a lot of times with patents, you get a little bit of leeway when you're in a different industry. But I would think that there's such a big brand, it would be hard to market something under that name of Young and Restless.
Yeah, for me, it was more of an annoyance for the first year because people would say, oh, Young and Restless. And I'd say, oh, it's Young and Reckless, and still there's very few, but I'll be in meetings and people will say, so we're really excited to work with Young and Restless. And I'm like, okay, we got to leave. These people don't even know who we are. But really the only big issue was on trademarks was that they own almost everything Y&R. And we use that a lot. And so we battled, but we ended up being able to carve it out under apparel as Y&R. Now, obviously, I would have a hard time if I went and tried to do a TV show called Young and Reckless about the brand, but I got it for hats and clothes.
Yeah. What would you say was probably your biggest obstacle that you guys had to overcome when you started your business?
I'm going to be honest, I think one of the biggest obstacles I'm battling today, and that is the shift in shopping from retail to e-commerce. So there was a lot of big battles, getting our stuff into stores and getting it bought, and people, convincing people that it wasn't a reality show merch brand and it was really something real was a huge uphill battle. But when you spend 6 or 7 years building this business and going to all these retailers and getting your product in there, and then the shopping habits just change, and some of these retailers go bankrupt and they just send your product back and they cancel their orders, there's nothing you can do. There's nobody that you can complain to or nobody that you can run to and say this isn't fair. You know, you have to wake up and almost act. I mean, there's been days, a year ago where I felt like I was starting the business over. You know, and it's like, man, I've done all this work for the last 8 years and now I'm starting from scratch. This isn't fair, you know. But unfortunately, there's nobody that you can cry to, and they'll make it all better. So you just have no choice but to adapt. And we've been really successful at doing it, but it's been a huge learning experience.
Yeah, it's funny. Right around the corner from my house is the Westfield Mall, Century City Shopping Center. And they've just spent billions of dollars revamping it. And I would say that when that was originally made, 80% of it was retail clothing stores. Now, 80% of it is not retail clothing stores. It's restaurants and other things. So the whole shift in, the brick and mortar industry has changed. They're trying to rebuild these malls and make them experiences for you. So you come in for the experience, and then, yeah, maybe you're going to buy this, you're going to buy that. But really, the thing that they're trying to do is they know you can shop online. Right? So they have to create an experience that's going to make you say, okay, I'm going to step away from my house. I'm going to not shop online. I'm going to go there and, see what they have to offer. And it's a huge challenge. And you are reinventing your business now and it's just going to get harder. Bad news.
And thank you, Bill.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to overcome.
Yep. No, I know. But it keeps it exciting. You can't, I always kind of pictured success as being like at one point you just hit this moment and that's when you get to just lay on the beach all day. And I really thought I was headed there and I thought I was doing really good, but it was sort of that just realization that isn't what success looks like, and it is a constant struggle every single day, and things do change. And so I learned that lesson early.
Yeah. The question is, she loves his brand. They didn't hear it. She loves his brand and she wears his brand, and she wants to know how he communicates with people her age to develop the brand.
Yes. So the answer is I purposely created the brand for a certain age demographic. Really, when I target an age demographic, it's 16 to 24. And that's the business that I created, and I always want it to stay there. I don't ever want it to be like people are just buying it because of me, or as I get older, people are wanting to dress like me. I mean, nobody wants to dress like me anymore, right? I dress like a dad now. So what I do is I'm constantly paying attention to what's going on. I'm hiring younger people that are smarter than me now and know what's going on and know what the trends are and knows what people are doing. And then we're just using our sort of basic fundamental knowledge to keep things in line and keep the business healthy. So it is a challenge, but I don't, you won't see me out front too much moving forward saying, oh, dress like me, I'm a teenager just like you. I won't be that weird guy, I promise.
We're glad. Any other questions?
We got one at the back.
Yep. Yell. Stand up. Just yell.
Hi, Emmett.
I was a huge fan of Robin Big and Fantasy Factory, so I'm asking it's a two-part question. Do you still skate, and how do you feel that your brand has affected skate culture?
Answer number one is yes, but just like sort of as a hobby. Every year you get older, it hurts more and more every time you fall. So I'm trying to do more traditional work. We went to SoulCycle the other day. We're trying to be more like traditionally fit.
Yeah, we're the same age.
Yeah, clearly. And then affected skate culture, I think it's cool. I think that I grew up skateboarding, and I was very protective of skateboarding and skateboard culture because I took it very serious. It was my whole life. So I've been very careful about how I enter skateboard culture. I didn't want to create a brand and say, hey, I'm a skateboard brand now and make money off of skateboarding. So I've kept a bit of a distance, but I think that it's had a little bit of an influence, and that makes me really happy.
All right, we'll do one last one. Yeah, right here, you.
You stand up, I come to you. It's fine.
Thank you, Tegan.
Hi, my name is Yashar Tesori. I'm a rising sophomore at Boston College. You just
That means he's going to be a sophomore. It's a whole new thing,
see,
rising. If they're sinking, that means they have to do the year again.
Man, you learn something new every day. I missed college.
I just learned
so
it
I didn't
today
know.
also.
That's good.
Yeah. We didn't use
I'm
that.
a rising freshman still.
Oh, really?
I'm a rising dad, always learning.
I was wondering, you just mentioned that, you let some of the younger people in your organization kind of see what's trending and what's kind of important for your designs. Does that mean, like, is there a certain age where you've progressed, like graduated from doing more of the creative stuff to doing more of the business stuff? And also, if you still are involved in the creative aspect, mainly, do you look towards movies and books, or where do you find like your main inspiration for designing a line?
Yes, so I would say, trying to answer that in order. When I first started, I was incredibly hands-on with creative. I was in most of the photo shoots or photographing them. I was helping design all of the clothing, all of the graphics, all of the everything. I mean, incredibly hands-on with that. As it has progressed, because of not only now I have 8 years of knowledge that a lot of my employees don't. They haven't been with the company the whole time. So I have this sort of different perspective of the business, and I'm able to handle more strategic business moves, right? What do we do with Macy's? What do we do with these mall retailers? How do we build e-com? And then the creative has shifted more to younger designers. And so those guys are really talented, and it is their passion to pay attention to what's going on and to trends and to how do we move forward and how do we be unique. I'm not going to lie and say that my passion is making a podcast and making content and designing, and you just can't do it all, and that's where a lot of people go wrong. So I put passionate, really talented people that are way more talented than me in those positions. I still approve, I oversee, I do the bigger brand sort of mood boards, and if I feel like something needs to sway this way or that way, we do that. But 8 years in, finally, I feel like I have a really talented team that I can rely on to handle most of the hands-on creative.
Awesome. Chris, thank you so much.
Thank
You
you,
guys,
guys.
let's give it up for Chris and for coming over, and for Sinette for bringing you here. Thank you. Thanks so much.